things that strikes me about watching this performance is not only are the women singing beautifully, but they're singing as if this story is their story. And I'm wondering if you think that that's part of why this song struck a chord with people, that it became something that they could talk about what they went through, what they were feeling, that maybe they had a hard time putting into words of their own.
When I write lyrics, I like to be right at that point in the Venn diagram, that intersection of my truth and an openness for other people to be able to take this song to make their own. When I write as in the songwriting rooms, I'm always thinking like, is this going to create value for someone else's life and mine? And I was thinking about why this song started becoming so important to people. My best theory so far is that, I didn't quite feel safe or heard in my own home sometimes, not because of lack of love, just, traditional versus like modern cultural barriers. And also I didn't feel quite safe with myself because of the blame that I put on myself for being sexually assaulted. I didn't trust myself anymore.
Put on your face, know your place. Shut up and smile, don't spread your legs.
And so the song comes from a place of feeling unheard and unsafe in my own home, my own body. And I think people felt unsafe in their own country, in their cities, in their communities at that point. Like some people did, right? Not everyone. But I feel like the messages that I was getting from people from all over the U.S., but also Australia and Sweden and different countries and Ghana, people were just like, we're not being heard and we're not safe here as well. And they would share with me what's going on with the politics of their countries as well. And it just felt oddly parallel. And everyone's kind of going through a very similar theme of needing to reclaim their homes. And for me, reclaiming my body and also trust for self. So I think that's what was happening on a macro level as well.
And is that why it's important to you, and I think people who care about this issue, that it doesn't stop, that you now have I Can't Keep Quiet Day, which is April 8th, to make sure that every year you remember what these issues are, what changes are coming about, and to actually solicit stories. I think you're doing this now as sort of some online collaboration where people are sharing things that have happened to them and their responses to similar issues.
I think it's really important to continue this dialogue, and even as the Me Too movement and all these things, like I can't tell the future if it's going to be a main topic of discussion in the media, but for me, I've made a promise to myself that like I want to be a social change artist and be proactive rather than reactive. I want to create a safe space for people to share their stories, learn to be vulnerable, learn that other people will listen and trust them. And then also on the other end is to create a platform where people can amplify stories through art. I want to create, and it's forming now, which is a really cool thing, is just a community of gentle rebels, is what I call them, who are using collaborative energy and artistic energy to help each other rise above oppressive silences. Because I think that peace comes from storytelling, and it comes from art and expression, and it comes from many, many things, but I know collaboration and art the best, so I am going to focus on that. And I think I'm I feel really clear about that. When the song Quiet went viral, I was like, I'm new to all of this and I don't know what my mission is, but 2 years later, I'm like, I'm so clear that this is why I was put on earth, is to create space for people to collaborate, be expressive. And I hope that healing process through the ican'tkeepquiet.org, if people go there and they want to be a part of this project, I hope that it heals them and empowers them so that they can go into their own communities and spread this sense of like ease and calm and peacefulness, and perhaps less of this like hatred and fear will be ricocheting everywhere.
It's clear that your song has meant a lot to a lot of other people. I'm going to ask you about what somebody else's song has meant to you. This is a 1970 song created by a band that not a lot of people have heard of called the Five Stair Steps. On your album from 2018, This Is Not the End, you do a cover of it. It's one of my favorite songs. It's called Ooh Child. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, when the world is much brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
What does a song like that mean to you, and why is it important that you share it with your audience?
Ooh Child is such a timeless, classic song. Not only musically is it really interesting, like it goes from major to minor seamlessly. The chords are unexpected, and also the lyrics are effortlessly simple but so powerful, and I aspire to write songs like that. So on a nerd, songwriter standpoint, I just am such a fan of how that song was written. But on a social and artist macro level, this song is transforming in meaning because, for me personally, I look at the movements that are coming from the youth right now, from March for Our Lives to, the climate strikes that happen. I'm seeing the kids kind of moving forward to demand for a better world. And so this song has taken on a more intricate meaning. On one side, as a woman in her 30s, I'm like, things will get easier, but also at the same time when I'm singing this, I'm also reminding myself I have to do a lot of work to help ensure that these kids will have a space to live on this planet. And this year when I've been touring the song, I've been kind of telling the audiences how this song has kind of shifted for me a little bit, because the children are rising and setting an amazing example for us adults.
Milk, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, John.